Well, today I'm going to be showing you how to play Local H's High, Wide, and Stupid off of their last record, Lifers. So, we're just playing this out of a little crappy Boss amp. I don't have my full rig set up right now. We're playing on the Mustang. So, it's not perfect. I'm just going to try to do a run through before I start. It's not going to be perfect. I just learned this not too long ago. Tuning, it is half step down. It's the local H drop tuning, so it's half step down on all these strings, but then on the low E it's a whole step down, so it's like all the kids are right, high fiving all those. So I'm just gonna run through it real quick. Sorry. Yeah, so that was rough, but that's all that's the structure of the song, so we'll go through it. So it starts off with this crazy little lick thing that is kind of nuts. So you start on the B string, so you do second fret, you slide up to the third, so you do, and then you do open, so you do slide up to third, open, and then G, strings apparently. So you do on the B, you do slide up, open. G string, you do second, fourth. D, you do fourth. Wait, so you climb up basically on the second fret and the fourth fret. So you do second fret, and then up a string, fourth fret, second fret, up a string, fourth fret, second fret, open. It's just a climb, just those. So back and forth, and then you end with that open A string, and then that's just like the opening little like crazy lick thing that he does. Then you go into like the opening riff, which is you're on the G string. So then you slide up. You start by sliding up to the 7th fret. You hit that. I'm not going to count the times. You just hit that. Listen to the record. You'll hear it. You go. So you go 7th, and then you slide back to the 2nd, and then you hit that 4th. So, and you kind of bend it down, and then you release it. So there's a variation of how he does this riff in the opening part. So it's so there's like 4 different ways he does it. So you start with you can listen to the record, but you can mix and match them. I think he does sometimes when he plays it live. But so So I always start with that one. You just bend. It just bends. So you do. And then you restart and you go. So that one I bend down twice. And I don't take my finger off on that one, I do. So. And then you start again. So on the 3rd time on the record, he goes up on that part. So you do that part, and then you slide up to the 5th fret. Then you go back to the 2nd. You slide up to the 7th, and then you end on the 5th. So it's. Sorry. You kind of want to do a vibrato thing on that one. So, this is complicated. Did I mention this is my first guitar tutorial? So, once you do that one, then you do the real basic one. This is the easiest. You do, pretty simple. This is all on the G string. So, I'm just going to play through that whole part again. And then this one is where it changes into the actual riff instead of the opening riff, so it goes. So you kind of start that, you hit that a few times, and then you just slide up and make some noise, like Scott does. And then you go into the riff, which is 12th fret. He plays it down here because you're sliding down with one finger. I think it's easier to do it up here, but if you watch, he does it. So I'm going to do it up here. So you go 12th, 7th, 9th, but you really got to bend that 9th because you got to bend it like a whole fret up. So there's 2 variations on what he does for that riff. So he either does it this way, know, where you bend it at the end. You tap it, and then you bend it. Or he does you just tap it twice. And he just switches between those. I don't think there's any like rhyme or reason to it. If you listen live, he's kind of going back and forth. Sorry, my dog is freaking out. Hey. But yeah, so you do that. I think it's four times, and then you go into that kind of the verse where the guitar is kind of mellow. You might want to turn it down a bit when you play this. It's just so it's 12th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 12th, 7th, 10th, and you just let that ring. And then when you go back into the chorus, you kind of just do the same thing you were doing before. So you do that the normal 4 times, and then you go into the kind of outro of or I guess the middle part of the chorus. I don't know song structures like that, but I mean, if you know the song, you know it. It goes. You'll end it with this one. It's just on you just keep hitting on the 7th, down to the 5th, then down a string. You want to hit that. Pretty much you're hitting this, but it's down here, and you want to let this string, the top one, ring open. So again, it's and then you go to the 3rd fret and the 2nd fret, and you just do bar chords on those, and you do. That's it. That's how the chorus ends. It doesn't sound like it on the record, but really had to listen and watch him play it. But that is how he ends it. He goes, and then he goes back into for the how wide and stupid. He goes back. Then you just go back to that for the verse. That doesn't change. And then you just play the same thing over and over. So it's again I guess you would call this the pre-chorus, I think. Do a little slide, why not? This is all the same. Yeah, so you just... So then, right after that, you hit the G string on the 7th fret. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with me. G string on the 7th fret. You kind of bend it up. I think that's a full set. And then what you do is you just let go. You have your distortion cranked up, and you go, and you kind of let that ring out like crazy. You want it on a better amp than this with more actual gain on it. It'll sound right. And then this part I might have wrong, so let me know. But after that you do. No, okay, so you're basically climbing up again. It's on the 7th fret and the 5th fret. You just go back and forth. 7th. So this is on the G. 7th, 5th, and then on the D string you do 7th, 5th, then on the A, 7th, 5th, 3rd, open. So and then right after that you go into like kind of a variation on that part. So you do. So you're just doing on the E, on the A string, you're just doing 5, and then open. And on the second, you want to bend that down, so. And then the second time he does it, he does power chords, he kind of climbs down, he does. So you kind of do the half. So you do one of those, and then you do half of that kind of riff before you go. You change it. You do power chords. You do. So that's 5th power chord on the 5th, power chord on the 3rd, power chord on the. Or no, you do an E, an A chord. Sorry, 3rd. 5th, 3rd, 2nd, open. So then this time on the record and sometimes live, he does, and then he does this crazy like, I can't do that, so I don't think he can do that half the time. That's rude. Sorry, Scott. But it's this crazy kind of tapping thing. I'm not gonna do it, so I just keep doing it. And then eventually he goes, he screams, and you go back. And then you do that a few times, and you go back to the. So the difference is when you do that, you do that 4 times as the outro. So it's the take away our reason. He does that 4 times. So. And then you end with the open. And then you're kind of, if you have a big pedal board like Scott, you kick on the flange, you kick on delay, whatever you do. You do all the crazy stuff that he does. And then tone it all down, bring back just in the distortion, and you go. So again, on the A string, it's just up to the 5th, and then open, and then this time you do the 3rd string, or the 3rd fret. And then you kind of wind that up and. So, something like that. I might have some of that wrong. I'm just posting this because I kind of want. Seems like local H guitar tutorials are not too common on YouTube. You have the bound ones, bound for the floor, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do a few more of these. If you like local H, I'm in a local H cover band called Farah. We're in Chicago. Come check us out on social media. Y'all want to see my dog before I leave? Come here. Here he is. That's my dog. The noises you've been hearing this whole video. That's him. Okay, thank you. Let me know if there's any more that's local H songs that you want to hear tutorials for. So, thank you.